So let's jump into 112 updates. All right. Let's see. Patrick, you were able to update everything to the latest containers, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Or at least, yeah, it was merged. Yeah, the update
All
was
of it.
also both in master and in the 1.12 release branch.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
we agreed, just for the others, we agreed to do that for both host path and the GCE PD driver, because it happened to work.
Yeah.
Was a bit unsure about that, but because it's not the combination that they are testing themselves. But I think it's worthwhile actually to try the latest ones in Kubernetes, because theoretically it should work, and I think it's a worthwhile combination to try out.
Sure. All right. Thanks for all of that work. So I think now all your PRs are in, so the snapshot test should be unblocked now. Is that right?
As far as I'm concerned, everything else can now move ahead as quickly as they want.
All right.
There's this one line item where I wasn't sure what to backport. So what I ended up backporting is not the full deploy from manifest pull request, but just the version update.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The stuff was a pretty big change, so
yeah,
it'd be pretty big to backport. All right. So I think Xing, we were just saying that the Patrick's PRs have merged, so then the snapshot test should be unblocked now. Is that correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, that should be. So you have updated all the images, right? To 041?
Yes, that should be correct.
Okay.
So you just have to sync up.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Chang is not here, so we'll skip this. And all right, Jan, you have an update on the workload tests?
Yeah. Luis released new CSI tests, and I wrote end-to-end test for the workload, but the CSI test still doesn't work. So
Okay.
I poked him, I reopened issue. And
This
CSI
one?
test.
128?
Yeah. It got closed and open and closed and open.
Okay.
But the tests are ready for review. I'm just waiting for the CSI test.
Okay. Yeah, if you want, go ahead and assign me to review that. Let's see. So do you have a backup plan on someone to take over this work?
No, I can ask Fabio. He can push to my fork.
Okay. All right, cool. So I think those are all the 112 items, so we're making good progress there. Let's go to the 113 items. Let's see. So moving the API objects to V1, Jan, were you able to get Jordan to take a look at this?
No.
Okay.
There's approval from Saad, and that's it.
Okay. Let me get a better understanding of the CSI 1.0 spec work. I want to make sure that that doesn't slip, and as soon as I have a better understanding of that, I'll go ahead and prove this.
Okay. Hey Saad, I already put a hold on this.
Okay, perfect.
For that
Okay, then I'll just go ahead and I'll approve it, and then we can remove the hold as soon as we're confident.
Yeah. Um, all right. Next is the Cubelet device plugin registration.
Yes. So this morning I've been talking to Renaud, and I think his time is probably going to be slightly limited than what we thought. So what I've gone ahead is created an issue with outlining the tasks, code-related tasks that need to happen. He's already taken a look at it. I think he's on board. So I'm going to be more involved on the code side to get this moving and continue to move it forward, so we can get that done, and then hopefully early next week, we can present it to the node group, the node SIG, to discuss approval and whatever else may need to happen to move to GA. There are a couple of issues pending that Renaud himself is investigating. One is there was a bug that I reported a while back, so he got a pull request in. So I'm going to start reviewing that, and then we were just talking about another issue that has to do with a channel closing too early bug. So we're investigating that to make sure that it's nothing that's going to block us. So that's where we are.
All right. Can you go ahead and link to those issues and bugs here so that we can kind of keep track of them?
I'll add them. Absolutely. I'll put everything in here. Yep.
All right. Let's see. And then have you had a chance to start looking at the CSI deregistration work?
No, but it's on my to-do list for today. And then when we're talking about miscellaneous, I'll further discuss this. But no, I don't have a PR yet, but it's on my to-do list.
Okay, great. All right. Let's see. CRD installation mechanism, Saad?
I haven't updated this. I still need to fix the end-to-end test here, or sorry, the integration test here. But it is in a usable state. The test might not be passing, but like it actually does install the CRD. So if you're depending on this, feel free to rebase off of this PR and use that for automatically installing the CRD.
All right. And in terms of reviews, are you getting reviews from the necessary people?
I need to figure out who those people are. Most likely it'll be Jordan, and he seems to be pretty responsive. So.
Okay, cool. All right. Next is the topology support.
As was recommended in the last meeting, I went ahead and asked the question around how exactly where exactly we can commit the code for the webhook in entry. So I asked this question in a couple of SIGs. So that was like cluster lifecycle and API machinery. So in cluster lifecycle, I think it was Timothy Sinclair who said putting in an external admission webhook into like anywhere in entry is kind of looked down upon. So he was kind of discouraging. And then I think Michelle, you mentioned like, go and ask for guidance in API machinery. And there, I did not hear back anything. So I kind of asked like, if someone can tell me who the right person is, who I can schedule a meeting with. So I didn't get any responses to that. So it seems like Jordan is active there. Like, would he be the right person to ask around where we can?
Yeah, you can probably try pinging Jordan directly.
Okay, I'll try that.
And he should at least know like who to route to.
Got it.
Yeah, I think cluster lifecycle honestly is the right home for this one, but yeah, it doesn't hurt to talk to API machinery too.
I see. So in cluster lifecycle, they were kind of like, why would an external admission webhook be allowed entry? So, okay, I'll speak
Well,
to
I mean, this is the same question, like, why are we having core components depend on CRDs kind of thing?
Exactly. I kind of mentioned the same.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the next step for me there is to talk to Jordan, and does anyone else want to be there? Saad or Michelle?
You can CC me on any discussion.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And secondly, with respect to how to get the TLS certificate and CA bundle figured out, I got some guidance around potentially using this other add-on called Cert Manager. And that allows you to basically introduce a specific resource called the issuer. So we can potentially use that to generate the CA bundle and package it all in. Yeah, so that's the update on the TLS side of it. But then that also brings in the question that should we now require this other extra add-on to be there, which is Cert Manager.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that. And actually, maybe Jordan might be the right person since he
Okay.
kind of spans like API machinery and security and all of this. So
Excellent.
So a higher level question here, and I think let's discuss more of this for each of the blockers we have on Friday. On Friday, let's have the discussion, but we can start thinking about it. Is topology support for Kubernetes CSI a blocker for GA? I'll let you guys think that over, and then I think on Friday, let's have a meeting. Let's discuss all the blockers we have and figure out what the real blockers are and figure out if we can actually make the deadline for this quarter. November 15th is the code freeze date, and so let's use Friday to figure that out.
Okay.
sounds good. All right. Next up is moving the alpha objects to beta.
Fabio is looking at that.
Could we get Fabio to start showing up to these meetings, maybe?
I'm not sure. It's pretty late here.
Okay.
I can ask him.
Okay. If
And
so,
well,
that
there
makes
is a
it not-
there is a PR open and he's progressing.
Okay. I think the blockers here are end-to-end tests are remaining, and what else?
I think that's the main thing. Like before we move these objects to beta, we should make sure we have end-to-end tests for all of these alpha features.
Makes sense.
I think it's the pod workloads and topology stuff that's missing end-to-end tests.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll need to make sure we get those in first. Let's see. Is this still correct? Does Jordan have any concerns about these objects moving to beta?
I don't think so. That must be the other object
Okay.
or attachment.
I'm going to remove this, but we should make sure we go through the same downgrade exercise that we've been doing and make sure there's no issues there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I think the difference here is we don't have any planned feature additions, so it's a little bit harder to, I guess, plan for the unplanned. But yes.
All right.
I have a question regarding E2E.
Yeah.
Will E2E help you catch the downgrade scenarios? I'm curious.
It is possible to write an E2E test for downgrade.
Okay.
It's not something that we readily use, but it seems I think in some cases where there's potential danger for like really bad things to happen on downgrade, we should be proactively writing some tests to cover that.
Okay.
All right, next is moving the CSI spec to 1.0.
So yeah, I think this is currently the biggest risk for getting CSI to GA. I had a meeting with Tim yesterday to get his review on the spec and see if he had feedback. He has lots of little nitpicky things that he wants to change, which I think other than just getting them in are not huge blockers. One big issue that he had a concern with was the volume capabilities in the create volume request. Why are they a list? We have an old issue opened up for that I'm pinging again and trying to move forward. Beyond that, I have a meeting with the approvers to triage the issues that are currently open to get a sense for what is and is not a blocker for 1.0. We had a meeting this morning with the community to discuss a handful of issues. One of the issues that I was concerned about was the block volume support stuff. And on that call, what we decided was, in fact, we should do bind mounts for everything, not just for file, and not do a symlink for block volume. And the proposal on that call was the CO always creates the target path. The target path is a directory if you're doing file, and the target path is a file if you're doing block. And the CO will create an empty file in the case of a block, and then the plugin will bind mount the device file, dev/SDB or whatever, to that path. As far as I understand, that should unblock us, because on the detached side, the unmount side, the volume unpublish, one of the concerns Luis had was differentiating between block and file so that he can handle symlinks differently from bind mounts. But if the assumption is that everything is a bind mount, we don't really need to make that distinction. So I'd like to run this by Luis. I was hoping he was going to be on this call, but I'll have to follow up with him offline.
Has someone validated that actually will work?
Someone on the call claimed that this was what they were doing in their plugin. Yeah, go ahead, Vlad.
No, I was going to say exactly what you just said. He's on the call as well. He or she is on the call. We've never spoken verbally. We've been going back and forth over a PR that he's doing for BRD. Are you there, M. Kimura?
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
so go ahead.
Actually, I was using Symlink to achieve it, and it worked well. But as a result of today's discussion, we need to use bind mount. So I need to change the code to use bind mount and confirm that it works.
I think there was somebody else on that CSI call that said they were already doing it.
That was Gorga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's from Red Hat as well. He said he tested it and when it works. So I can check with him.
This is for the CSI plugin doing a bind mount.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the proposal is, instead of doing a symlink of a file, the dev SDA or SDB or device file to the target path, we do a bind mount of the device file to the target path. And if the file doesn't exist, the CO should create an empty file there that can be used as the mount point.
Okay.
And bind mounts do not apply a file system, so that shouldn't be a concern. It should just expose it. And the nice thing is that mount propagation will allow that to be propagated back down to the host machine, so it actually works more nicely for us.
Okay. Do we potentially want to change the in-tree block feature to also do this?
That would be a good idea. Probably something we should track for Q1.
Because I want to make sure, like, because I remember the in-tree code was doing the symlinking outside of the plugin, so would this end up
Yes, that's correct.
be doing like a symlink on top of a bind mount?
Possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that code, but there could be an issue there.
Okay. Because
so maybe M. Kimura, can you test this out and let us know maybe by the Friday meeting if it works for you or not?
Yes, I'm trying to do so.
That's awesome. And he also has a PR out for CSI. So like I said, I've been working with him.
Perfect.
And that could be the basis for
any changes.
That could be the basis for our beta code.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure the in-tree block support is planned to go to beta. Given like this, I'm wondering if we need to delay that further and reevaluate parts of the implementation.
Vlad, have you taken a look at that at all, or do you know?
Yeah, I followed up because I had asked. What I was just thinking is, would it be possible to, because CSI works completely differently anyway, would it be possible to just keep CSI, delegate the decision whether it's mounting, because that's exactly what we're saying, delegate the decision of whether it's mounting or a symlink to the driver, and keep entries working as they are.
I think that might actually be how it's implemented, because every driver implements its own essentially last mile functions for how to make it available.
I think on teardown there might be some common stuff with ref counting and things.
Right.
So yeah, I think we'll need.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's bring that up at the SIG storage call. We don't have one this week, so I don't want to delay on that too long.
Yeah, do we have, can we find like an owner to kind of look into this?
Yeah.
Soon?
M. Kimura, what time zone are you in?
Oh, could you repeat again?
Japan? Okay.
Oh,
what time is it there?
No.
I'm in Boston, so.
Oh, Boston, sorry, okay. Would you be willing to set up a meeting with Aaron Boyd and the folks that are running the moving the Kubernetes block from alpha to beta, and the people in this meeting, and then we can discuss this further.
Okay, anytime is okay.
Yeah, I can help with that.
Perfect. Let's do maybe. I mean, tomorrow this time works for me. Or we can do. Sorry, let's do Friday. Or tomorrow afternoon.
Right. Yeah, let's do Friday.
Okay. Or Thursday afternoon.
I'll send out a doodle thing that seems to work.
Okay,
and
that works.
Invite.
Perfect.
And then we can set that up. Okay, I'll take care of that meeting.
Thanks, Vlad.
Sure.
So yeah, overall for CSI 1.0, I think this is the biggest risk for GA at the moment. By Friday, I'm hoping to have a better understanding of what all the different pieces are that we're tracking, and we can go from there. Thanks, Deep. I saw your message.
All right. Thanks for the update. Let's see. Next is moving all the RBAC role definitions to the external repos.
This is almost done. I'm currently looking for someone who can look at the driver registrar pull request. Everything else has been merged, but that one is pending.
Okay. You can go ahead and assign me to it.
Okay.
Take a look.
And once that's done, I'll do the docs.
Cool. Thanks. Let's see. So external provisioner has merged.
Yep.
All right. Let's. All right. Okay. Next is the flaky E2E test.
Yeah. As of today, we have the log file dumping merged. And I hope that once we basically need to rerun the query and see whether it still flakes. And once it does, we have Cubelet logs and all of the sidecar containers, the output of those available, and then we might might be able to see something.
Cool.
That's the hope, at least.
Yeah.
Because I just bought